Hello again, and welcome back to Lost in Translation. My name is Nico, and this week we are taking a look at the Torah portion of Vayeilech and the 10 things you will miss if you are only reading the Torah portion in English. We're going to start off with number 1. I am 120 years old. All right, so here it is. This is the very end, where the Torah almost, and Moshe Rabenu has been telling this new generation what to expect and giving them last bits of advice and last commandments. And he's telling them today, I am 120 years old. I can no longer go or come, and the Lord has said to me, you shall not cross this Jordan. 120. It's reminiscent of the number 12, with the 12 tribes, with the 12 months in a year. I mean, the time is up. That's what this is about. Was he really 120 years old? Yes or no? It doesn't matter. It matters that the quality of 12, which is a full cycle, has been accomplished, and there is no more to do, right? So he's not being allowed to cross the Jordan because that's also not his job at this point, okay? So Moshe Rabenu has brought the nation out of Egypt. He has led them to the wilderness, and he has brought them right to the edge of the land where now they will become their own nation, lifted up and in the land of Israel. And now, once they're in this new land, they have their own existence and their own responsibilities. And we will see how that will take shape. Okay, number 2. He will cross before you. In the very end here, Moshe Rabenu is being very clear that the Lord your God, Hashem Elohecha, he's going to be the one who goes before you, who crosses before you. He will destroy these nations from before you so that you will possess them, right? So it's not you are going to go do this. So Hashem is going to do this for you, right? You're going to be you have to participate, but don't have faith in your own strength. Have faith in the fact that Hashem is bringing you to this place, that it's his will. And so not only does that give you faith in Hashem, but it should give you this sense of fearlessness that things are going to be exactly the way that Hashem wants them to be, which is also what we should carry into our everyday life. Number 3. You shall do. Right, so we had all of this about Hashem going forward and what Shem is going to do. But then, right, when Hashem delivers them before you, you shall do to them according to the commandment that I've commanded you. Okay, so it's not all, it's on Hashem. Hashem is bringing you to the place. But once you are at the place, now you've got your work to do, okay? So it's not all, okay, I'm just going along for the ride. There is work for us to do. There is the upper force that brings us into the land. And then once we are there, we have the work of maintaining ourselves in that land, of keeping all the commandments, because those commandments are what continue to bind us to Hashem. Number 4. Release nor forsake. Okay, here we've got a little bit of a difference in translation. He will neither fail you nor forsake you. Right? Right? He will not release. We won't let you go, right? He's not going to let you out of this contract, right? You're not free to leave this because the curse will happen. You'll fall into your egoism and you will encounter the entire universe as a curse. And if instead you pursue the mission, he won't forsake you either, right? There will always be good in the end. There will always be the correction that we are bringing the world to, right? And so this is why we're not allowed to be dismayed. We're not allowed to delve into sorrow and feel bad for ourselves. We have to trust that Hashem is with us and that he's taking us to where we ought to be and that everything is for the good. Number 5, end of 7 years. Okay, at the end of every 7 years is being implied here. It just says it says at the end of 7 years. Okay. Meketz Shvat Shanim. Okay. Yes. At the festival times, at the time of Sukkot, right? We understand that this was done every 7 years, and that what's supposed to happen is that the entire congregation of Israel is supposed to come before the temple, the place where he will choose. Moshe Rabenu doesn't know this. And everybody is going to listen to this Torah being the book of Devarim, right? Not the entire Torah, but the book of Devarim, because this includes major parts of the Shema. It includes, it's a recap of the entire Torah, and it includes all the basic concepts that Jews need to hold close in order to live Jewish lives, right? That Hashem is good and does good, that we are to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, that we are to invest all of our strength and all of our wealth and all of our hearts into our mission with Hashem. That's why the men, the women, and the children, everybody comes together to hear this once every 7 years. And who is reading it? The king. And the king is the Mashiach. He has been lifted up, and his job is to lift up. So he's doing exactly the same job that Moshe Rabenu has been doing for all this time, right? Because we know that these words are connected. Moshe, Mashiach, Mashiach. It's all connected, and this is the job of the king. He is meant to be this leader, and he is speaking the words of Moshe once every 7 years in order to draw the nation upwards. And it's every 7 years. It's the sabbatical year. It's on the year of perfection. Again, another cycle being completed. Number 6. And you're a stranger. Okay. Ooh, and you're a stranger in your cities. Right here, right? And you're strangers. So these are people who are known to, well, ger usually means a convert, but we also know that ger can be an outsider. So we're understanding that there are people who live in Israel who are not Jews. And we know that they have the 7 Noahide laws that they follow. And they're meant to be encouraged to come to this event of listening to the king read the book of Devarim in this public fashion once every 7 years. The idea is, if we demonstrate that we are full of merits, if we show the world that our ways are good, then it's okay for the world to want to come and join us. We're by no means proselytizing and asking people to become Jews, but there is nothing wrong with a non-Jew seeing what is just and right in Judaism and wanting to be a part of it. And in that case, if we're doing our job correctly, everybody's going to want to come along. Not that they're necessarily all going to want to convert to Judaism, but they're going to at least support us in our mission. And this is how we raise them up. But so long as we act in contravention to our mission, the world remains broken. Number 7, place it in their mouth. Okay, so now Hashem is telling Moshe Rabenu, listen, you need to come up the mountain soon, you're gonna die, but I know that the children of Israel are going to stray after other gods. I'm going to get angry. Bad things are going to happen to them. Evil things will happen to them. I want you to write a song for them. Teach it to the children of Israel. Place it into their mouths in order that this song will be for me as a witness for the children of Israel. Place it into their mouths. Again, if we remember the anatomy of the spiritual partsuf, the 5 worlds and how they correspond with the 5 organs of the head, 2, 3, 4, 5. The mouth corresponds to the Sephirot of Malchut, and Malchut is where the end of all our desires really are. This is the part that needs the correction the most. This is where egoism reigns strongest in spirituality. So if this song reminds us of our connection to Hashem, and that even if it's an egotistical desire, right, that this song has been placed in our mouths, this is what will constantly bring us back, right? Because that's what we'll want. And even if our egos want it at first, we will learn to want it without our egoism, and our malchut will rise to binah. It will be good in our eyes. Number 8, grow fat. Why are they going to go after other gods? Why do we stray? Because we end up in the land, right? It's flowing with milk and honey. We eat and we're satisfied. We live and we grow fat. We live out the fat of the land. Well, we get fat. I think it was saying here is that live on the fat of the land. It's still, there's this idea of aviyut, this thickness that builds up between that which Hashem gives and our egotistical desire to receive, right? And that's what gets in the way. And slowly, that's what's corrected. And it is this satiation that causes us to look for more, and the ego takes over. But the ego takes over because it's designed to. It takes us where spiritually we're not supposed to go, so that we can incorporate that into spirituality as well. Number 9, I know it's inclination. Okay, Hashem here, he's telling Moshe Rabenu that all these bad things will happen. And he knows it will happen, for I know their inclination, right? They're planning to do today, I don't know. I mean, he knows the inclination that Hashem made was the evil inclination, was egoism, was the will to receive. Of course he knows it, because that's precisely what he created. And it is through the corruption of that will to receive that we are able to correct the world. Right? If we never have any sin, if we never have any contact with impurity, then the world remains broken. The upper abundance doesn't fill the entirety of the will to receive. There's always something that is left unfulfilled. And that's not what creation is about. Creation is about fulfilling everything in a pure way, in a way that that has the intention of giving back to the creator. I am taking this abundance because it pleases the creator for me to fulfill the purpose of creation through the acceptance of this abundance, not because I want it myself. As soon as I want it for myself, that's the inclination that Hashem knows so well, because that's the inclination that he created. Okay, number 10. Against them. Okay, so assemble to me the elders of your tribes and your officers. I will speak these words into their ears, and I will call upon heaven and earth as witnesses against them. These them are the elders and the officers. The elders and the officers, they represent the part of the partsuf, the upper part that calculates what can be received without egoism. And when that failure happens, the judgment is against the calculation, not against the desire. The leaders who fail to teach us in corporality, the leaders, the officers, the elders who fail to teach the nation appropriately, they're the ones who are accountable for those failures. More so than, that's not to say we're not accountable. It's to say that they have an accountability too. And in spirituality, in the spiritual anatomy, these elders and officers are the upper part of the partsuf, the Galgata Enayim, the skull and the eyes, where the calculation is made for what can be received in order to bestow. And that's where the errors are made, are always in that calculation. So that's where the judgment is brought against. Because in the end, it's supposed to be a complete fulfillment. It's just about how do we make that calculation for the fulfillment to be done correctly. Anyway, short portion this week, but also a very rich one. So please share with me anything that you found interesting in the portion. Share with me in the comments. Until next time, I invite you to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And until then, be well.